So, again, I can't overstress this fact. The fetus is not examined from a printed list. You take the opportunities as they present themselves. So, you get a good four-chamber heart. You're ecstatic. This is the time to immediately grab your three-vessel view. Simply slide up toward the chin until you get your three-vessel view. If you have a good four-chamber view, then it's also a good time to simply just angle up and get your five-chamber view, or the early left ventricular outflow tract. So here we start with the four-chamber view, slide up, get the three-vessel view. Four-chamber, slide up, get the three-vessel view. Here we start with the three-vessel view, slide down, get your four-chamber view. Three vessels, slide down, get your four-chamber view. Here we started with the four-chamber view, slid down toward the chin. Here we started with the three-vessel view, slide toward the umbilicus and get your four-chamber view. Again, examine the fetus as the opportunities present themselves to you. Now, in the four-chamber heart lecture, I told you that sometimes when you're getting your lip view, you get a very nice four-chamber view, which is true. But it's actually more common when you're getting your lip view to get a really nice three-vessel view, because the lip view often is a little more superior in the mediastinum. So the sonographer here was getting me the lip. Wow, it's a beauty. I think you'll agree. But what else did I get? I got a perfect three-vessel view, and I want to be sure to take advantage of that. Now, for a while, I've been telling you that I'm going to modify this criterion of the aorta and the pulmonary artery being about the same size. Now is the moment. So, if the PA is a bit larger than the aorta, that's okay. If the aorta is a bit larger than the PA, that is not okay. According to our principal echocardiologist, it's never normal. So for me, this is another hard line that I never cross. I'm either happy that the PA is bigger than the aorta, or that they're identical in size. But if I think the aorta is even slightly larger than the pulmonary artery, I'm going to pick up the dictaphone and recommend an echocardiogram. The cases tend to be tetralogy of Fallot, but aren't exclusively tetralogy of Fallot. Now, here we see our three-vessel view, branching artery on the end, branching artery more anterior. And when we actually compare the pulmonary artery to the aorta, we see that the aorta is actually slightly smaller than the pulmonary artery. Here we have our branching artery on the end, and we see that's also more anterior, and we see that the aorta is slightly smaller, or nearly exactly the same size as the pulmonary artery. If we do that, and of course we must do that, then we expect the aorta to be a little smaller than the pulmonary artery. So now the question arises, when is it too small? And a good rule of thumb is that the aortic size is typically mid-range between the SVC and the pulmonary artery. So here's our SVC, our pulmonary artery, and we can see this nice, smooth transition of the aorta being mid-range between the SVC and the pulmonary artery. Again, I cannot overstress this. If you're sitting there thinking, gee, is that aorta too small? Pick up the dictaphone and recommend an echocardiogram.